everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and today I'm going to show you guys a really fun and easy ombre technique. Here is my completed work. I've used this for one of the daily challenges. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and turn my grid back on. It's under Canvas here, Drawing Guide. It'll help me to get my ombre technique. I actually have a shadow layer as a separate layer, the actual word that I wrote, and then all of my ombre and shadowing, highlighting things on one layer here. So I'm going to turn off the shadow layer and the ombre layer, and we're going to go ahead and make our own ombre layer. So I've got my actual written layer selected. I'm going to go ahead and click that and hit select. So that selects everything that's on that layer. And then I'm going to make myself a new layer, and it keeps everything selected from that other layer, even though I'm going to start editing on my new layer here, this layer 5. And in order to do the ombre that I'm doing, I actually just use one of the spray paint tools. So I go under spray paint and use this ultra fine nozzle. And here you can use whatever colors you want. I have this minty green layer already. And so I'm just going to go in and add some other colors. For this one, I think we'll go lighter in like the aqua area. So I've got my layer here, and I'm going to actually turn it. Since I'm a lefty, I just kind of like having things at an angle, and so I will mess around with the sizing and the opacity as needed. We're just gonna add it on here, and you can do a light touch at first. I'm doing really light, or you can press a little harder to get a darker touch. I put the grid back on because I'm going to try to keep, kind of straight lines going. And so that looks pretty good, and you can see the line where they meet up. You can also add in a darker color. These are all my little aquas that are in the same kind of color range. So you can pick a darker one. I'm going to pick a actually even darker one. Go in. And at first I'm pressing really lightly, and then I'll start pressing harder as I'm comfortable with where my line ends up being. And you could go in even darker than that at the very, very end. Those letters that dip down a little further. And you can see it's just adding the color to my letters because that is selected. And so let's go in at the top. I have that minty color. I would like to do more of a greenish color up at the top. So same thing, I'll just start from the top here. Bringing in some color, getting darker at the top. You can go over it a bunch more times, or you can just press a little bit harder. I'm kind of doing a combo of both. So we've got some darker green up there. I want to go even darker than that at the very tip top. And so you can play around with it. You can use whatever colors you want. And if you don't like your colors, you can, if you don't like your colors, you can just turn them off and start again. I'm pretty happy with how that looks. And so I did actually a little highlighting layer on my old one, so I'll show you how I did that as well. So we're still on the same layer, still have the word layer selected. And so I did my highlighter with the soft airbrush, which is under airbrushing here, soft airbrush. Okay, so I've got that one. And again, I'm gonna mess with the sizing. I made it really small because I just wanted it to be like right down the center. You may have to play around with this one too. And this one is, I still have it on the dark. Actually, I need to change that to white. I'm gonna move all the way up to that white in the corner. We'll see how it shows up. I go really light at first. And you can go over it a couple of times to darken it up. If you press harder, you get a harder line, which I don't want. So just kind of go over the same spot, adding that little highlight until you're happy with it. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to rotate back around. Also turn off that selection and add my shadow back in. And that's it. So you can really play around with the ombre using that spray paint. And if you want to add in like a more speckled look, you can pick a different spray paint. They go from like really, really fine all the way to really splotchy. And so you can really get grungy with some of these. And that's really it for this tutorial. I just wanted to show you guys that little quick ombre technique. I really like that. I've been using that a lot lately. I hope you guys enjoyed this Procreate tutorial. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.